Picture yourself in a house shaped like a stop sign, or living inside walls made completely of steel. These are 10 distinctive American home styles that once dotted our neighborhoods, but have virtually vanished from modern construction. The Octagon House phenomenon swept America in the 1850s, thanks to phrenologist Orson Squire Fowler's best-selling book, The Octagon House, A Home for All. Fowler argued that 8-sided homes were scientifically superior to rectangular ones, providing 20% more interior space while using the same amount of building materials. These unusual houses typically featured central spiral staircases, cupolas for ventilation, and wraparound porches. Fowler claimed the octagonal design improved air circulation and maximized natural light. The trend peaked in the 1860s but declined rapidly after the Civil War as builders returned to conventional rectangular construction. Today, fewer than 1,000 octagon houses survive across America. Mississippi's unfinished Longwood Mansion remains the most famous example, while Fowler's own elaborate octagon home in Fishkill, New York, was demolished in 1897 after being abandoned. Between 1880 and 1910, Queen Anne-style houses transformed American neighborhoods with their exuberant, asymmetrical designs. Despite the name, this style bore little resemblance to actual Queen Anne period architecture in England. American Queen Anne houses celebrated visual complexity with their bay windows, corner towers, elaborate spindlework, and decorative shingles cut into patterns. These homes often featured multiple colors of paint to highlight their ornate details. The style represented the height of Victorian-era prosperity and craftsmanship. Mass production of decorative millwork made these elaborate details affordable for middle-class families. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake destroyed thousands of Queen Anne houses, and changing tastes towards simpler designs led to the style's decline. California's Carson Mansion in Eureka remains the most photographed example of American Queen Anne architecture. From 1890 to 1930, the American Foursquare dominated middle-class neighborhoods as a reaction against Victorian excess. These practical box-shaped houses maximize living space on narrow urban lots with their simple square footprint and 2.5-story height. Also called prairie boxes, they featured hipped roofs, central dormers, and large front porches supported by sturdy columns. The style embraced the arts and crafts movement's emphasis on built-in furniture, natural materials, and honest construction. Sears Roebuck and Company sold thousands of Foursquare houses through their mail-order catalog, shipping pre-cut lumber by railroad. The Great Depression and changing suburban preferences toward ranch-style homes ended the Foursquare's popularity. Midwestern cities like Chicago and Minneapolis still contain entire blocks of these sturdy, practical houses. The American Craftsman movement flourished from 1900 to 1930, creating thousands of low-slung bungalows that embodied arts and crafts ideals. These homes featured exposed rafter tails, river rock foundations, built-in cabinetry, and extensive use of natural wood. California led the bungalow boom with entire neighborhoods of these modest but well-crafted homes spreading across Los Angeles and the Bay Area. Gustav Stickley's The Craftsman magazine popularized the style nationwide, promoting the philosophy that beautiful, handcrafted homes could be affordable for working families. The stock market crash of 1929 and Depression-era economics favored cheaper construction methods over craftsman attention to detail. World War II's housing shortage further accelerated the shift toward mass-produced suburban homes. Pasadena's Gamble House, designed by Charles and Henry Green, represents the pinnacle of American craftsman architecture. The shotgun house became the dominant working-class housing type across the American South from 1860 to 1920. These narrow, single-story homes typically measured just 12 feet wide, but stretched back 65 feet or more. Rooms connected directly to each other without hallways, leading to the folklore that you could fire a shotgun through the front door and the pellets would exit the back door. The design originated in New Orleans through Haitian and West African architectural influences brought by enslaved people and free people of color. Shotgun houses provided affordable housing for urban workers, while maximizing the number of units per city block. Their narrow width allowed for natural cross-ventilation in hot, humid climates. Urban renewal projects demolished thousands of shotgun houses in the 1950s and 1960s. Recent gentrification has led to restoration of surviving examples in cities like New Orleans and Louisville. Between 1948 and 1950, The Lustron Corporation manufactured over 2,000 prefabricated steel houses to address America's post-war housing crisis. Chicago businessman Carl Strandland designed these all-steel homes using enameled panels that could be easily cleaned and never needed painting. Each house arrived as a kit containing 3,000 parts that could be assembled in a single day by trained crews. The federal government backed Lustron's ambitious plans to produce 100,000 houses annually using former aircraft manufacturing facilities. The houses featured innovative amenities like built-in storage, combination washer-dishwashers, and radiant ceiling heat. Production problems, government contract disputes, and competition from conventional builders led to Lustron's bankruptcy in 1950. Many Lustron houses survive today as curiosities, prized by preservationists for their unique place in American housing history. The Second Empire style dominated American architecture from 1860 to 1880, characterized by its distinctive mansard roofs that created usable attic space while appearing fashionably French. Named after Napoleon III's Second French Empire, this style represented prosperity and sophistication in post-Civil War America. These imposing houses featured tall windows, ornate brackets, and decorative trim that showcased the era's machine-made millwork. The mansard roof's dual-pitched design allowed for additional living space in what appeared to be an attic, making these homes both practical and grand. Wealthy industrialists and government officials favored Second Empire houses for their association with European elegance. The style spread rapidly through pattern books and was particularly popular for civic buildings, hotels, and affluent residential neighborhoods. Economic depression in the 1870s and changing tastes toward the more decorative Queen Anne style led to Second Empire's decline. Many surviving examples can be found in historic districts of older American cities, though countless others were demolished during urban renewal projects. Tudor Revival architecture became America's most popular residential style during the 1920s and 1930s, transforming suburban neighborhoods with its romantic medieval charm. Unlike authentic Tudor architecture, American Tudor Revival homes mixed medieval English elements with modern conveniences and materials. These houses featured steeply pitched roofs, decorative half-timbering, tall, narrow windows with diamond-shaped panes, and prominent brick chimneys. Wealthy Americans embraced the style as a symbol of old-world sophistication and craftsmanship. The stock market boom of the 1920s fueled construction of elaborate Tudor Revival mansions in exclusive suburbs like Shaker Heights, Ohio, and Bronxville, New York. More modest Tudor Revival cottages appeared in middle-class neighborhoods nationwide. The style's popularity peaked just before the Great Depression, when economic hardship made such elaborate construction impractical. Post-World War II suburban development favored simpler, more affordable ranch-style homes over Tudor Revival's complex rooflines and custom details. Today, Tudor Revival houses are prized in historic neighborhoods, though new construction rarely attempts to recreate the style's authentic craftsmanship and materials. Post-war optimism and space-age enthusiasm created the atomic ranch style between 1945 and 1965. These single-story homes featured dramatic angles, soaring rooflines, and walls of glass that blurred the boundary between indoor and outdoor living. Architects like Joseph Eichler and Cliff May designed thousands of these modernist houses for California's booming suburbs. Atomic ranches incorporated butterfly roofs, clear-story windows, and post and beam construction to create light-filled, open floor plans. The style represented middle-class prosperity and faith in technological progress. Popular features included built-in planters, conversation pits, and atomic-inspired decorative elements. The 1970s energy crisis made these glass-walled houses expensive to heat and cool. Changing family preferences toward more traditional and compartmentalized layouts reduced demand for open-plan modernist homes. Palm Springs and other desert communities preserve the largest concentrations of atomic ranch architecture. Spanish colonial revival architecture swept across the American Southwest and California from 1915 to 1940, creating the romantic image of the Spanish-American house that endures today. This style emerged after the 1915 Panama, California Exposition in San Diego showcased Spanish colonial architecture to American audiences. These homes featured red tile roofs, white stucco walls, arched doorways and windows, and decorative ironwork that evoked the romance of old California missions. Architects like Bertram Goodhue and Irving Gill adapted historical Spanish elements for modern American living, creating homes suited to warm climates. The style spread beyond California to Florida, Texas, and Arizona, often incorporating regional variations like Pueblo Revival elements in New Mexico. Hollywood stars embraced Spanish Colonial Revival for their Beverly Hills and Pasadena estates, cementing its association with glamour and leisure. The Great Depression and World War II interrupted the style's popularity, while post-war suburban development favored more standardized ranch-style homes. Though elements of Spanish Colonial Revival persist in southwestern architecture, the elaborate custom details and authentic materials of the original movement are rarely replicated in modern construction. So, if you could revive one of these vanished American home styles, which would it be? Leave a comment and share your thoughts about which of these distinctive architectural traditions deserves a comeback in today's neighborhoods.